Hello friends, a warm welcome from Aussie's group. I'm Malcolm, your PT coach, and today I have with me Tanu from Clayton. Tanu, how are you today?
I'm good, Malcolm. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much for being here. So
Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Thank you, Tanu. So Tanu, what are we going to do today? Can you share with the viewers, please?
Sure. We will be doing a task from our speaking section, which is the fifth task of the speaking module. Fifth and last, I should say.
That's right.
So the first one, as you all know, is read aloud. The second one is repeat sentence. Third one is describe image. Fourth is retell lecture. And the final and the last task for this very module is answer short questions. And it is an integrated task.
Right.
So as you all know, you listen to a question and you have to answer that very question.
That's right.
So the marks will be going towards listening as well as towards speaking.
Speaking, that's right. Because the instruction itself says that you hear a question. Please give a simple and short answer. Often just one or few words is enough.
That's right.
So as she correctly said, listening and speaking both. But predominantly it's a listening task before a speaking task, because you can answer only if you listen to the question, obviously. So Tanu, generally how many questions do we have in this task?
They are somewhere around 10 to 12 questions, and as you read the instructions, you have to answer them very, very, very briefly.
Right.
You cannot, exaggerate the answers. You should not give lengthy answers. The answers should be to the point.
Right.
And very short.
That's right. So generally, as we already said, this task comes in the end. Now, in this task, most times we get audio questions, but sometimes we may also get audio visual questions.
That's right.
So an audio visual means along with the audio you'll have some supporting image or a graph or let's say a table or a picture, a real image, black and white color. Any image can come with the audio.
That's right.
Right. And as we know, before this audio starts, we get 3 seconds in every question.
That's right.
So in those 3 seconds, obviously you can have a quick look at the video, also the image, try to understand the image quickly, and then focus on the question. Because the question sometimes can play really fast.
That's
and
right.
if you're not attentive or alert.
I think the questions are very, very easy.
Very easy.
But the only struggle which a lot of students face is understanding those questions.
Right.
Because sometimes they are too fast.
Too fast, that's
so
right.
we're not able to figure out. Like for example, the question may be as simple as which months fall between January and March.
Right.
The answer is very simple, Feb. But then a lot of times it is said so quickly, so fastly, so fluently that a students really struggle to know what the question actually was.
Right, that's right. And as this task comes just after retell lecture, now we know that even in retell lecture, which we did last week, we covered it in our 4th session, along with the audio sometimes we do get an image.
That's right.
And PT sometimes can be a bit smart. The first question of answer short question can start or can be an image question. So if you're not alert at seeing the topic heading before the question, then you might think that it's a retell lecture. But just in 3 seconds the question comes, and if you're not alert, you miss it.
That's right. And you should always be focused on screen. So you should always know that, whatever is happening on the screen, your eyes should be on the screen.
Right.
So the focus is very important.
Right.
Because if you're not focused for this task, you might not understand the question. Though it is a very easy question.
Very easy task, that's right. And Tanu, in this task, do we have any beep?
No, there's no. That's the biggest thing, that there is no beep. So you have to figure it out when you have to say the answer.
Right.
So the moment the question stops, your answer should not be very prompt.
Yes.
Rather, you should have your eyes on the screen. The moment the recording begins, you have to answer the question then. Because there's no point of answering the question before the recording has even begun.
Yes, nothing will be recorded. So generally there's a gap of 1 second between the question audio ending and the recording timer starting.
That's right.
And one very important thing which you always discuss whenever we do speaking is that if you don't speak for 3 seconds or more after the recording timer starts, unfortunately, the mic stops recording it. So that instruction we believe is generally most important in this task, because this is the only task in speaking where you might need to think.
That's right.
So just be prompt, but not as prompt that you're not even waiting for the recording icon on your screen. That's right.
And there's one more thing. A lot of students, what they do is when they listen to the answer, they always repeat.
Yes.
Do you think it's a good idea?
So, you mean the keywords from the question?
Yeah.
Now, ideally, you should give the right answer. But let's say I don't know the answer to the question. even then I should say something.
Yeah.
Even if you keep your mouth shut, you're going to get a 0. Even if you give the wrong answer, you're getting a 0. But at least if you say something, then you have that feeling that yes, I've tried something, and you just keep,
you
have the momentum.
Yes,
that's right. You just keep on going.
Yeah.
Now, since you're talking about the marks, this task, as we already said, is an integrated task.
Mm-hmm.
Very straightforward scoring. For every right answer, you get 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
For every incorrect answer, you get a 0. But actually, this is not 1 point out of 90. The weightage is pretty less here.
That's right.
So that is the reason that even if 2 or 3 answers are incorrect, which sometimes can be the case because nobody is perfect generally, even if 1 or 2 answers are incorrect, still you can easily get a 90 in speaking, because the first 4 tasks, that is read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, and retail lecture, have a much higher weightage compared to answer short questions.
That's very right.
So of course you try your best, but don't be worried if you have 1 or 2 incorrect answers if you don't know. As she said, just say it, just say anything.
Just don't lose
okay.
your confidence and momentum.
Yes, that's right.
That's the most important thing.
That's
so
right.
even if you're struggling to give 1 or 2 answers, that's pretty much okay.
That's okay. It won't affect your scoring much. But very important thing which PT is testing with this module is, which very few people realize, is your vocabulary score in the scorecard.
That's right.
So if you're looking for a 90 in vocabulary, try to give correct answers, because incorrect answers will affect your vocabulary score.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
for sure.
this task will not influence any fluency
Yes.
or the grammar
Or pronunciation.
or pronunciation.
Yes.
So the only thing which is affected is
Vocabulary.
Yeah.
That's right. Tanu, is there anything else we would like to add?
Yeah, I would just like to ask you that, do you think answer should be given, like for example, the answer to some question is a chair or the chair, but if a student says simply chair, do you
Yes.
think it's correct?
Yes, it's correct. So
Do you
again, a
think
good question. Yes.
adding articles or some extra words to
No,
the answer?
not really, not really. For example, let's say there's a question in the test like, if you have water problems at your home, whom would you call? An electrician or a plumber? So now let's say, obviously we know the correct answer is plumber. Now let's say I say plumber, she says a plumber, somebody else says I'll call a plumber. So obviously all these are correct answers, but the instruction itself says that generally you need to answer,
The questions
keep it simple and short.
in few words.
Yes, often just 1 or few words, so that is mainly 1, 2 or 3 words. So even if I say a plumber, everything is fine, doesn't make any difference in the score.
We ideally suggest our students to give answers between 1 to 3
1 to
words.
3 words, more than enough, you don't need to worry much about it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And Vanka, I've got one more question.
yes,
Once the audio stops, there's no, as we know, there's no beep.
that's right,
And we know that, the student has to answer when the recording begins.
right.
Do they have to wait until the microphone stops to go to the next question?
No, never wait, because, again a good question, Tanu, because if we wait, as we have already discussed in our previous sessions, the overall timer keeps on ticking.
Yeah.
So basically you are just wasting time and delaying your writing section more. No point wasting time, just go with the flow and click next immediately as soon as you give the answer.
That's right.
Right. And sometimes even people think that, let's assume there's a question like, in which direction does the sun rise, east or west? Now obviously the answer is east, but sometimes people do this. If they don't, let's say I don't know the answer, so I'll say east, west. Both the things I'll say. So now this depends, but generally it doesn't make any sense.
That's
so
right.
basically think for a second and then give the answer. Just be relaxed, think, say the answer.
Also, there's one more very important thing. Sometimes we know the answer, but the pronunciation is
Yes,
not correct.
That's right.
So that might influence your scores.
That's right.
So I would recommend to all the students that if you're giving your PT exam and you've practiced this very question, make sure you are pronouncing the answers correctly so that you don't lose your scores.
Right. And there are sometimes bit tricky questions which do come in the test. Now, why do such questions come? Because the name of the test itself is PT Academic.
That's right.
So sometimes, or rather more than few times, you should expect that you will get few academic questions. Examples can be like, how many years are there in a millennium? Now, we know that the answer is 1,000.
Yeah.
But sometimes, because you don't think quick or you're too quick, so you might by mistake say it's 100.
That's right.
Then you'll correct yourself 1,000. So those things ideally not recommended. Think for a second, then give the answer.
That's right.
Like another question which can come in the test is,
How many sides does a bilateral agreement has?
bilateral, so 2. How many feet does a biped have? So again, has.
Whatever is
2.
bi, it's always 2.
2.
Whatever is uni, it's always 1. So
1,
you should
yes,
always
that's
keep
right.
those keywords in mind. you should go through all the questions. There are lots and lots of questions provided on the web.
That's right.
YouTube has excellent questions.
Resources, that's right.
pte tutorials is the best, one of the best resources. You can look for all these questions. So I would recommend all of you, since the task does not have a lot of weightage,
right.
but I would still recommend all of you to go through the questions, as they're very easy and basic questions.
Right.
And though it is not having a lot of weightage, but it still carries marks. So you should be perfect in this task.
That's right. And definitely when you end it on a high note, you feel more confident even for the remaining modules, mainly the writing first task.
That's right.
Right. Like other few times, there are a few tricky questions like, what is the part of the candle called which is at the center of the flame?
That's right.
Now, somebody might say thread, somebody might say something else, but the correct answer can be a wick.
Okay.
Like the word, you might have heard it, but it doesn't strike you at that time, unfortunately.
That's very right, yeah. Sometimes, the image-based questions are quite easy. You'll see a crossing and you'll see a person standing on one side, a police car on the other, ambulance on the third side, and then a normal vehicle on the other. So which vehicle should go first?
First, yes, that's right.
So we all know that, the priority should be given to ambulance, but we sometimes still get blank when we listen to this question. So you should be very confident, and you should always focus on what you are listening. It's very, very, very important.
Right, that reminds me of some of the questions. Like one of these is something like this, where you actually need to listen very carefully because it's spoken a bit fast. Like, let's say I have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. My eldest son is 14 years old, and my youngest son is 3 years old. So if my middle son is 13, what is his age? So basically it will be spoken a bit fast. So you need to listen like 14, 7, 13, what is the age? Just remember the number and say the right number. Otherwise it can be a bit problematic at times.
That's right. And there are very easy questions like, what is the opposite of southeast?
Yes, that's right.
Many students, when I do this in class, they say southwest. But it's not southwest.
It's not southwest, that's
okay.
right.
So you should keep these little things in mind while doing this task, as it is very important.
Right.
And do we have any questions today, Malcolm?
I don't think so, and I think we have covered most of the things.
Yeah.
And I think more or less we have covered everything. So viewers, if you have any questions, you can post it right now. But as we said, and as we know, this task is mainly a low weightage task, but still obviously the target should always be 90, 90, 90 and 90, which includes listening and speaking, 2 most important modules of course. So yes, try to get a full score in this task anyhow, that's right.
And which task will we be discussing next week, Malcolm?
Next week. So yes, Tanu, first of all, congratulations. We are done with 5 tasks, all 5 tasks of the speaking module. And now we need to start with the writing module. And the first task in writing is called summarize written text.
Very important
task. Very important task again. So summarize written text means you have a passage on your screen. You get 10 minutes to finish the task. And
the important point is that you have to write a summary using 1 sentence.
That's right.
That's the most important thing you should keep in mind.
Yes.
You have to write the summary using 1 sentence, which is between 5 to 75 words.
That's right, 5 to 75 words. And obviously it's an integrated task of reading and writing.
That's
both.
right. So we will be giving you a good presentation on this task next week. And if you have any questions, feel free to post it or call us or go to pte tutorials and you'll get all your answers.
So we have few questions now. First question is from Queenie. Thank you, Queenie, for posting. You've asked that, is there a way to speak into the microphone that will affect the score? Now, we already discussed this before. Generally, the position of the microphone should be somewhere over here, like near the lips, closest to the lips, but the main thing is that your breathing sound should not enter much into the microphone, otherwise it will be a problem. So if you're a heavy breather who breathes with your mouth, then we can recommend that put it somewhere near your nose. Otherwise, out of 100, generally we have seen that most of the people, like 90 plus people out of 100, best position is this, somewhere near the lips.
Some people, prefer to put it just
near the nose, yes.
Close to the nose, not below,
yes,
but just perpendicular to the nose. Yes. That's even a good position to place the microphone.
Definitely, because you're breathing, this sound of breathing should not enter the mic much.
It should not be directly under the nose.
Yes, definitely. So Queenie, we hope you answered your question. Second question is from Uzair.
How to attempt multiple choice, multiple answers in reading.
So Uzair, very soon we'll be approaching the reading module as well, and that time we will be answering this question as well. But generally the questions in multiple choice choose multiple answers are very lengthy. The passage length is pretty much in reading.
And they have negative marking.
Yes, partial negative marking is also there, that's right. So ideally, whatever you do, don't waste much time over there.
Yeah.
Because then you might not have enough time for important tasks in reading, which are mainly your blanks and your reorder tasks.
That's right.
So whatever you do, try to keep it short and simple. Don't waste much time in those questions, definitely. And as we said, we'll definitely be covering it when we do our reading module for sure.
We've got another question from Zaina Khan. Thank you, Zaina, for asking the question. It's how do we deal with describing the graphs and tables in speaking section?
Right. So Zaina, we already answered this question in Describe Image when we did it 2 weeks back.
Yeah.
Now, when you're talking about graphs, just graphs alone, there are many types of graph. First thing, like bar charts or bar graphs, line graphs, line charts, or pie charts.
Yeah.
Again, can be called under, considered under graphs. So if you're interested about knowing how to describe them in detail, you can just go to pte-tutorials.com, and you can also purchase the paid material. The entire template or the structure is available just for $9, and we have tried to cover all the main types of images in detail in that structure.
Just to answer this question very quickly, I would say just keep few things in mind, which is, one is you introduce the type of the image, which
Right.
is bar graph, pie chart, table, or whatever the image is. Second is you introduce the topic.
That's right.
Third is you talk about whatever is given, whether it's x-axis or y-axis, whether
that's
it's
right.
about slices, whether it's about stages, depending on the type of
Type
the
of
image.
the image.
And then pick the highest and the lowest, and
definitely.
you talk about it. So this is the most easiest, suggestion I could give to figure out how to answer this question.
That's right. She actually said the right thing. The main thumb rule is that most of the graphs generally have values. So highest, lowest, with value, very easy to cover.
That's right.
Yes, don't try to miss out on the highest and lowest. They will at least give you a good flow and rhythm while you're speaking, and obviously even content will go up, definitely.
And we've got another question from Ali Kader. Can you please talk about speaking section, describing a picture, how fast we should talk and how much detailed analysis is required to describe the picture?
Right. Now, how fast should we talk? So there is no one speed that fits all. But generally the main thing, as we already covered before, is fluency. And fluency mainly means you speak without pausing in natural phrases. So the syntax should be like you don't pause at the wrong place, first thing. And second thing, even if, of course, you'll have to breathe somewhere. So
That's
ideally,
right.
you should try to speak complete sentences. For example, if I want to describe an image, let's say it's a bar graph. So if I say something like this, the given picture is an image of a bar graph. So now I stopped after before
yeah.
I said bar graph. So that is a very inappropriate pause. Immediately affects fluency. It goes
That's
down,
right.
basically speaking goes down. So try to speak a bit quick and complete sentences. And also very important is clarity. Because we already cleared it before that if you're very fast, fluency still can be high, but pronunciation
Goes down.
goes
Yes.
down. Yeah, because the software doesn't understand what you're saying.
Just make sure you are clear. You're not taking any unnecessary pauses.
Yes, thank you.
And the other part of the question is, and how much detailed analysis is required? I think the instruction itself answers this very question,
Yes.
that you have to describe the image. They have not asked you to provide the detailed analysis of the image, but they've just asked you to describe the image, which means you have to talk about the image. You don't have to provide any analysis about it.
That's right.
Providing analysis is always a plus.
Yes.
But as far as you're talking about the image, as far as you're providing relevant information about the image, you're good to go.
That's right. You said it right again, that the name of the task is describe image, not analyze the image. So basically that's a picture. What you have to do, just convert it or transform it into words. So don't think what is given, why is it given,
Yeah.
not analyze, just describe it. So be quick in sentence formation and speak quickly, don't think
Try to
much.
cover all aspects of the image.
Yes.
That's what I recommend to my
That's right.
students. And we've got another question from Hasina Gufran.
Yes.
Thank you, Hasina, for asking the question. Is any masterclass available in Clayton? If so, how much is the fees?
So Hasina, as of now, we are having the masterclass in our Melbourne CBD premises. So even this Saturday, if you wish to attend, you can come. The class starts at 11 a.m. in the morning and goes on till 5:30. And the fees for the class is just $129. If you attend the class, you'll also get 2 full practice tests from pte-tutorials.com, which will actually help you for the real test, and you'll get a lot of material as well. And to register for the class, you just need to go to pte-tutorials.com. Under there, you'll see the coaching menu. Under coaching, you'll see the Melbourne Masterclass. So that's all you need to do. It will take not more than 1 minute in all for your registration.
And trust me, it's value for money. That's what all my students tell me. I take classes at Clayton, so all of the students who've attended the masterclass so far have the same review that, you know, it's the best. It is complete value for money.
Thank you so much, Tanu.
And Malcolm is the best.
Thank you, Tanu. Well, even we have one more question from Dheeraj Patel. Hi Dheeraj, how are you? Dheeraj has asked that, is there any special strategy for repeat sentence? Now Dheeraj, thank you for joining in firstly, and secondly, repeat sentence, this task also has been covered by us just a few days back. So you can just go to like the last video in December. I believe the one in which Gaurang was there, we covered repeat sentence as well in that in detail. Quick strategy is that either you can be quick in listening and understanding, or you can also note down the initials. Sometimes noting the initials also helps. It's a good strategy for repeat sentence.
But that can only be done if you've practiced.
Practice, that's right.
Because many times if you think, you know, you'll just listen to a sentence and you start writing the initials, that's not going to happen.
Yes.
It
requires
needs,
practice.
Yeah, it needs a lot of practice, yes.
And one more problem with noting is that, again, in repeat sentence, just like answer short question, there is no beep.
That's right.
So if you just keep on writing without noticing that the recording has started, in 3 seconds if you don't speak, the recording stops.
And it is an integrated task.
Yes.
Marks will be going towards listening as well as for speaking. So it has got a lot of weightage.
A lot of weightage for listening and speaking, so try not to mess it up. Whatever you do, follow just one thing and continue it throughout the test.
That's right.
All right. And yes, thank you, Ali. You have replied that you understood the answer to your question, so thank you for posting that as well. Tanu, is there anything else you'd like to cover over here?
Yes, of course, Malcolm. I would really like to tell all our viewers that there will be again a masterclass this coming Saturday,
yes,
which is 20th of January.
That's right.
And anyone who wants to register for masterclass, please go to PT Tutorials.
That's right.
And it's just 1 click away. And Malcolm,
yes,
how about any other masterclass you holding anywhere else?
That's right. So friends, I'm very happy to announce we already posted on Facebook that the last Saturday of this month, that is the 27th of January, I will be coming to Adelaide. So if you are in Adelaide and if you are waiting for anything to do with PT, believe me, it's your best chance. Just go to pte-tutorials.com. Under coaching, you will see the Adelaide Masterclass. So you can just go there and register for $129. Secondly, the second Saturday of February, that is the 10th of February, I am taking the masterclass in Parramatta, Sydney. So if you're in Sydney and if you've been waiting for anything to do with PTE, if you're missing out your 79 or 65, I don't know how many points, but if you're missing it and if you think that you need one final push in your arm or, you know, just that final punch, then definitely attend the masterclass in Parramatta. That's on 10th. Again, I repeat, Adelaide Masterclass is on 27th of January and the Parramatta Sydney Masterclass is on 10th of February. For both, you can just go to pte-tutorials.com and do the required login.
Before we go, we've got another question.
Yes.
From Nida Asif. Do
Yes.
you have any branch in northern side?
Not as of now, Nida. We are really sorry. So by north, do you mean north of Melbourne or do you mean north of Australia? We don't understand as of now. But hopefully, wherever you are, very soon we'll try to be there. If at all you get a chance to visit Melbourne, as you know, we are having the masterclass every Saturday. There have been hundreds of students, I'm not exaggerating, there have actually been hundreds of students who have flown in from outside just to attend this class. So even if it's a viable solution for you, you can try that as well.
And if you still cannot make it, go to PT Tutorials.
Definitely, that's
You'll
your
find
one-stop.
plenty of material.
Yes, one-stop
boost your
solution.
scores, yeah.
Yes, online you can do that. I'd also like to share that just recently one of our very esteemed clients, his name is Atikur. He lives in Sydney and he's from Bangladesh. He sent us a post a few days back on Facebook that he attempted PT after just attempting 2 tests from pte-tutorials.com. I think he took 4 tests. 2 were scored, 2 were unscored.
Okay.
and that was available. We are selling it just for $25, 2 scored and 2 unscored tests. Friends, believe it or not, he has got a 90 each score. That is 90, 90, 90, 90 and overall 90 as well. So fantastic material on ptetutorials.com with thorough analysis, pictorial analysis, graphical representations, and it will give you a detailed idea and analysis where you are lacking, what you need to do, how you need to improve your time management, so on and so forth. And there's a lot of material on ptetutorials.com, mainly for the essays, for the writing summaries, which is called summarized written text, which we'll be doing next week anyway, and also for the task of describe image.
And as you all know, a lot of tasks, a lot of questions in the exam are repetitive questions.
Yes, that's right.
The material on the PT tutorials is very helpful.
Yes, and along with the material, we also make an effort to explain why that answer is correct. Because there are many websites which will give you maybe the material, but the explanation is not there in many of the websites. So we have taken the effort to write why this answer is correct, why this is incorrect, so that you have a better understanding, a complete understanding, rather I should say. Yes, so thank you, Nida. Hope you answered your question. Next is Vignesh is asking that any hints to score more in the writing section. So Vignesh, you asked the question at the right time. Just next week, you're going to start the writing module. So stay tuned. Next week we are going to cover summarized written text, and the next week, yeah. Yes, we are going to cover the essay writing section in PT, which is called Write Essay.
That's right.
So everything in detail will be covered, but also understand that writing score doesn't come only from the writing module, because even reading and listening have
wherever
tasks.
You're writing something basically gets you writing
exactly,
score.
Yes.
So whether it's summarized spoken text,
that's right.
Whether you're doing the fill in the blanks, so all these little things, they contribute towards your writing score.
Yes.
So you have to get to that level that you are doing fill in the blanks appropriately.
That's right.
You are doing your summarized spoken
that's
appropriately, and you're doing essays and summarized written as of now. So
and write from dictation as well, very important task.
That's right. I forgot to mention that. That's one of the most important writing.
Yes, so wherever you type, be careful, it's affecting your writing score. And the last question, Arun Godara is asking, what about Brisbane, any center? So as of now, sorry Arun, we don't have any center in Brisbane, but hopefully with your blessings and wishes, we'll try our best to start a center soon in Brisbane as well. So friends, I think we'll be ending this live video now, because at 3 p.m. we believe that there's another video lined up. So if you have anything to do with your TR or PR, just stay tuned in for the next video as well. Thank you, Tanu, so much for your time. A pleasure to have you always with us.
Thank you, Malcolm. It's a pleasure
to
be part of Aussies and part of the team.
Thank you.
And friends, don't forget, think PT, think Aussies.
Thank you for viewing the video, friends. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.